Hello, hi, welcome to week 10. Today we will discuss the topic of distributed applications. So this is the research material that you can read. So we have here you can read whether you can read the textbook and or the netcast. So this is topic that we discuss today. The first thing we discuss about the spam, email harvesting, SQL and SQL injection, database security, email security, and digital right management. Okay, now we go to the first thing, which is spam. Okay, what is spam? Spam basically we can consider as a unsolicited bulk email. So basically spam is used to send advertising material, collect information, mount phishing attacks, mount farming attacks, distribute malware, and they are also used to conduct the social engineering attacks. So the general meanings of the spam is a mindless repetition. Basically, bulk email sent indiscriminately to large mailing lists. Early malicious spam email had obfuscation for header to hide sender from flaming or retaliation or prosecution. Most now sent by bots from public email services, whether Gmail, Yahoo, or Hotmail. How to trace spam email? So spam email comprise of 70 or 90% of all emails. So about 60% of all spam emails carry links to malware and farming site. So about 30% are advertisement for drugs. It used extensively for scam, fraud, and phishing attacks. Most spammers send out new email on the weekend so that their spam server will not be blocked until Monday morning when network administrators start work. So the working of the spam usually it will conduct in the weekend, because usually the officer, which is a network administrator, usually they work Monday until Friday. And then most spam is sent out by spam bot. Basically it's like a software that automatically generate and send the spam message or email. Spam can be identified by the path it travels to get to you. Every email comes with a header listing the names and IP address of each mail server through which it passes. The sender can be verified by performing a reverse DNS lookup on the sender IP address. Its known source of spam can be looked up using a publisher's blacklist. So, in order to understand more spam or the sources of spam, you can refer to this website, spamhouse.org. Okay, what is spam bot? As I mentioned before, basically it's a basic software that used to send a spam. It's considered malware lah, but actually malware is a software. Basically, but it's a software that used to send a spam. It can also to create email account, search the web for email address, generate pseudo spam, and send it. Some spam bot can crack password, solve captcha puzzle, install malware, and host server. So this is the example of spam. Email header. In order to see the email header, you can try to selecting options or minimum view or source view or message details. So this is the how it look like the email address, email header. Message source code. Basically, it appear that contain a lot of evil. I don't want to use the word of evil. Basically, it's content of like a source code or what we call whatever, or it's like that contain lot of specific code, which is this code will be acts like evil. The thing that you see like evil is basically is a 32 reference to 14.3.1 at 1.6. Reverse lookup AE 1 at 1006.dynamic.ppp.asahi net.or.jp is a home router. It consists of 4 JavaScript file loaded, 4 style sheet file loaded, 23 instead of loading a web beacon. A lot of this is Microsoft Outlook block. So this is the return address. The goal is seems like to get the user to answer the email. It's like a pure phishing scam. So the moral of story, if you get this kind of this email, please don't entertain this email. Otherwise, just delete the email. So the example of the header. So if you can see here, if you try to search the IP address that you obtain in the email header, you can see, yeah, it's a Sun Gazette, a local Williamstown newspaper. It is another example of the spam image. If we go deep the location of the email header, you can see the sender basically is come from the India. So this is another case study of the Microsoft Outlook that has been hacked. That's why if you ask me which email is the most secure, I can say it's Gmail. This is my opinion, but as I understand, Gmail is a consider good compared to others email provider. Okay, blacklist open relay. Okay, the system administrator have the option to subscribe the virus blacklist. Okay, the purpose of the blacklist is like a guideline for system admin, so they can know which one is spam, which one is not. So this is the list of domain name and host identified as source of spam email. Some sites are blacklisted by mistake, and there are also whitelist services available as well for default deny email server. There are few open relays, public anonymous email server which allow anyone to send an email. They are left over from the days when the internet was used for good and not evil. Hardly sought after by spammer. Uncompromised or armed PC can act as an open relay. Free email services. Rather than using open relay, spammers tend to set up an email server on an armed PC. They never use their own email account, no header for grid needed. Spammers also use public web-based email sites like Gmail, Yahoo, or email to send the spam. Bots can be used to create new email account with random or dictionary-based name for the purpose of sending email. Such services are increasingly trying to prevent this by adding puzzles that bots cannot solve, such as captcha, phone callbacks, audio captcha. This is why if you want to create the new Gmail, for example, the Gmail, the Google will call us first. If we can can answer the call, and then they give like permission for us to create the email in the Gmail. This refers like a security lah. Something like TSC, TSC, right? If you want to send the money from your account to others, the bank will send you like a TSC message. It's same thing. The purpose of this is to secure whether the user is real or not. This purpose of this kind of the security message. Okay, captcha is like a completely automated public Turing test to tell computer and human apart. It's like I think you know about this, right? Basically it's it's like to test whether the user is really human. Why? Because usually, not usually lah, because there are a time that using the system is not user easily as a bot, so they want to avoid this bot to using this system. So that's why they want the system put the captcha will need to solve by human. So this is the purpose of the captcha, is to avoid the bot to using the system. Okay, now we go to the next is email harvesting. Basically is a process to obtain the list of email address using various methods. It also collecting email address is part of the enumeration process. Names can be lifted by automatic tools received through websites on the web. Emails are sent to harvest email address, inviting the recipient to visit the website and confirm the details. Confirmed email address are worth more on the hacker or spam market. Spam bot also generate random email address and send spam to them. The message often says something like, "Don't reply this email address." Okay, how to prevent the email harvesting? Actually, we can prevent email harvesting by using spam filtering, like a keyword matching, Bayesian filtering, or alpacas. Okay, now we go to the next topic is SQL and SQLi. I means stand for the injection. Okay, what is SQL? Basically, I think you guys have learned about the database, right? So basically, SQL is a structure query language. Okay, why we need to learn this thing SQL and SQLi? Basically, SQLi is a injection technique which is we can use to get the information from the database by using injection technique. So that's why we call this thing SQL. So that's why in this course we learn about the SQL also. Why? Because SQL also is not a perfect things. There is a vulnerability or hole that we can go to in. So in order the technique that go to in the SQL or obtain the data from database without the permission from administrator is a SQLi. So that's why we need to understand about this thing. Okay, now back to the topic. It's a non-standard set of command for creating database table and accessing them. So basically there is two. First thing is a DDL, we call it a data definition language. Second is a data manipulation language. DDL is used to set up a table, columns, key or constraint, and the DDL used to get the data from table, changing it, or it's like a select, select, insert, delete, update, something like that. DDL is like a command like create. So how it look like? I think you know about the SQL, how it look like. So this SQL, basically if we open it, we can see a table that inside the table we can see the data. So this is the table inside the SQL. Okay, the top row. So now I going to very basic of the SQL. Okay, the top row is a column names. Each subsequent row contains data relating to one thing. Each row should be different, although the same value can appear in different rows of the same column. Each row can be uniquely identified by a primary key. Okay, DDL basically is a stand for data definition language. It's standard for command that define the different structure in the database. It's a statement that is to create, modify and remove database objects such as table, index and user. So the example of the DL we can see here, create table person. So create is la DDL. Another thing is about the DDL is drop, alter table. Okay, how about DML? DML is a stand for data manipulation language, which deals with data manipulation, include most common SQL statements such as select, insert, update, delete. So it used to store, modify, retrieve, delete and update data in a database. Okay, this is the example of the DML. So select star from person. The purpose is to get the content, all the content from the person, and then insert means we want to insert the data in the person tables. Okay, how about update? The purpose of update is to change or edit the content of row without having delete and insert it again. So the purpose, the meaning of this command is we want to edit the content of the table person, which is if we found the name, set the name as Anthony, whether his ID is 7. We also can delete the data inside the table by using the DML, which is we use delete. So this is the purpose of delete is to delete all the rows, delete the content based on the condition. For example, delete from person where ID is equal to 3. So that's mean this command will ask the database to delete the row that have column 3. I mean column value is 3. How about where? Where basically is a command limits the action of the rest of the command to specific row. It also does a logical test on each row, and if the logic returns true, it also perform the action. It's like a condition, condition. For example, select star from person where name equal to Jim. So that means we want to display the data from table of person, which is the data that from table person is name equal to Jim. Same thing with the where color is red. It's like a condition. But in the case where for is for delete, where is for condition. We also can use logic. For example, here we use boolean logic to combine where and condition. It also to remove of the row containing both red and blue colors. Same thing. This the another example of how to use where logic in the SQL statement. So here we can see it combines where and end. So that means the data should match the condition color equal to red and that equal to 11 November 2006 and no, 11 February 2006. Boolean logic. So this is the list of the Boolean logic method we can use. True means true. True false means false. False means false. If anything false and returns false. So this is the Boolean logic for SQL. Another thing is like a true. If anything true or returns true, therefore anything or true is true. We can trick a where condition into returning all rows. Okay, now we go to the SQL injection information. Okay, when we if before we go further to what is the SQL injection, we need to understand what is injection. Injection means we add something like code, a specific, code maybe a alphabet or character in the command. This we call injection. You add additional code or or symbol in the command. So what is the meaning of the SQL injection? So basically we add specific symbol or code or alphabet into the SQL statement. This is the meaning of the SQL injection. So in a good definition way, we can say is cover a range of database attack from the injection of exploit code through a buffer overflow in a DBMS to execution or arbitrary SQL script through a web page form. Basically, is the injection is we add some specific code or symbol or character in the SQL statement. Okay, if problems occur because lazy programmer pass unsanitized user input directly to SQL command string, it can be prevented by sanitizing using trim or replace to remove escaping low string, such as with rejects, remove or escape this character. So by passing parameter to the DBMS can be prevented by using store procedure on the server, and then you also can be prevented by using MySQL rel escape string as slashes HTML and code. So this is the technique how to prevent the SQL injection. So this is the example of the SQL injection. Actually, you can go through the example in the Google. This one you can simply search in the Google and don't try to apply this thing in the real website, because if you apply it in the real website, the problem is they can trace you. That's the issue. But why we need to learn this? Because we need to learn this because we want to increase the awareness of you, because you guys will become like a programmer or software engineer. So in order to hold this kind of the position, you need somehow like a awareness. This is the example of the SQL store procedure. SQL engine bind SQL injection user errors message and timing to deduce table or column names. It can be performed on non-relational database such as XML database, object-based database like MongoDB, COS30015, any database that use logical expression in queries. Okay, this is the classic example of the SQL injection, and we can add the following fragment to a text field such as a or a equal to a, which is written to true. Admin dash dash set the user type to admin without checking password. Robert drop table student. Okay, how to prevent this thing? Of course, simple way we can say is we need to sanitize or validate all input and output. Actually, I don't prefer to use the word sanitize. Actually, the proper word is a validate. We need to, as a programmer, if you build a website, you need to validate all input or output in the text box. Okay, logic attack. See this example of the how to inject something SQLi by using logic attack. You can use this one, inject something or true, or x, 1 or 1, a or 2 equal to 2, solution of course, sanitize the input output, filter or restrict privilege. Union is concentrate to the MS queries as long as the number of column returned is the same. My SQL only. Solution is we need to sanitize, filter or restrict privilege. Okay, SQL map. SQL map is a software that use as an automated tool that take most of the workload of SQL injection. Database CIA. Databases have several systems in place to maintain privacy, ensure availability, and prevent data corruption. Two-phase commit is like a best practice if you add or edit the databases. It allows simultaneous write access to a database without risk of data corruption. First thing, we need to request the phase, commit phase, DBMS use ACL or permission attribute to control who reads from and write to a database table column. Implement DAC, MAC should set up according to principles of least privilege. Granting permission. Grant select on user to evil hacker. Can also grant delete insert update. Can grant permission to all and public. DAC can be built by creating a user-specific view and granting grant right to its owner. Can create view, select, Grant select on with grant option. If a user gets to want or leave the organization, permission to database must be removed before they can retaliate by revoke select on user from Alice. This has been a cascade effect of removing permission from everyone who was approved by Alice. Database encryption. Sensitive data should be encrypted before storing it in the database. Some databases store data in plain text or human readable form. So an attacker with hard drive access can read data without using the DBMS. DBMS offer a range of encryption and decryption functions ranging from symmetric keys to public-private crypto. So this is introduction of email security. Basically, email have three main protocol, which is client, mail server. No, I mean the basically emails have three main things, which is protocol, client, and mail server. As email security, we should have pretty good privacy. The email messages are digital signed, encrypted, hashed, use web of trust to verify public keys, based on reputation of public keys, open source version of is CPG. Authentication of sending user relies on public key crypto, which is everyone must have certificate. Authentication of the organization, it use certificate embedded in gateway. What is sender policy framework? Basically, it's a method of email authentication that designed to detect forging sender address during delivery of the email. It's a field in DNS record used to authenticate email server. Easy to spoof, it does not check message integrity. There is no privacy, does not support mail forwarding. Some addition but not commonplace. Okay, what is DRM? DRM stands for Digital Right Management. It's a scheme that used to protect the right of copyright holders, recording companies, and media companies. It retrieves the right to sell, copy, give, backup, transfer, and broadcast. It applies to software, audio, video, print, or whether it's also transmission. It is strict fair use, such as study or review. For scheme, for CD, we have like Act, USA Act 2002, Copy Protection Attempt, 2005, Sony put rootkits, CD to prevent copying, replace audio with noise, disable CD drive if removed. DVD, use content scrambling system. Encrypt channel between players and display. It also reverse engineer. How about the HD DVD? It's a CSS-like protection cracked soon after the format came into use. For Blu-ray, we have three things: AACS, AES block cheaper, and many ways to crack this. We also have physical media protection scheme becoming irrelevant. For Act in 1998, US law designed to stamp out privacy, outlaw reverse engineering fair use study. Over the top law will conflict with many law outside US. So there is example of the law. So lastly, this is the case study. We can see here we have like four things: Spotify adware, direct clicks to malware, teenager arrested for alleged operating cyber as service website, server ransomware killing database server, vulnerabilities in animals, one touch pick insulin pumps. So I think that's all for this week. So please don't forget to answer the open question in the online canvas discussion I will put after this. And then again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you.